Morning, this is Doc with Dr. Patrick Live, and today we're going to talk about love, because when people talk about love, there's all kinds of things they think about. Some think of this gushy feeling, some think of a decision. But back when I was in 11th grade, right, I was one of those people that were really bitter. I was stuck in addiction. I just hated life, and really I hated people. I lived with my grandmother up in Pontiac, Michigan, and I kind of just went through the motions of life. She would try to come up to me and do that grandma thing where she would give you this big hug, because my grandmother was under 5 feet tall and she was pretty wide, and she was like that typical fluffy grandma. She would always cook for us, take care of us, never ask for anything, but I just had a hard time believing that she loved me. And it all changed one day when I was coming out of school, the high school. I was walking across the field because she lived close enough that I could walk home, and 4 guys jumped me, broke my jaw, but after they hit me with what I found out later was brass knucks, I had no idea. I thought they just sort of knocked a tooth loose. I turned around, they were running off, and I just went on back to the house. Halfway there, I thought, well, I'll just kind of move this tooth that seemed loose with my tongue and maybe just pull it out. But when I touched it, the pain was so great that it dropped me to my knees. I got home, got on the bed, called my aunt. Eventually, they all took me to the hospital. They took all kinds of x-rays, and they scheduled me next morning to see a specialist, a jaw specialist. And no one told me anything, so I had no idea what was going on. We got home. I still didn't know what was going on, but I tried to rest. So my grandmother had me lay down in her bed, and all I wanted was a drink of water, because from about 3 o'clock on, I hadn't had anything because there was so much pain. So my grandmother did one of these amazing acts of love. She took a syringe and pulled out the needle, so there was just the syringe part. She filled it full of water, and then she got up on the bed and kind of straddled my chest, this rotund woman. And she put the edge of the syringe in my mouth, and for hours just trickled in water. And I wanted to yell at her. I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to tell her, look, get off of me. But I couldn't, because I realized I needed the water. And I was amazed that she would give of herself to someone who really couldn't stand her. That day, my grandmother broke me, so to speak. And I understood for the first time in my life that love was about pouring out everything within you to someone else, no strings attached. So look, when you start to think about love, yeah, there's a feeling part to it. Sometimes it feels great, sometimes it doesn't feel so great. But ultimately, love is this connection between people that allows a person to just give, to open up, be vulnerable, and to pour out their heart. My grandmother poured out her heart. She did things for me. And even though I didn't know what to think, she kept doing it. And I started to understand what love was all about. So when you start to struggle, when you start to kind of question what love is, remember, love is giving, love is sacrificial, love is safety, love incorporates all those elements. And you know when you're loved. So I hope you can find love within you to give to others, and I hope you have some discernment about when people are trying to love you. So look, if you think this video helped you in any way, like it, share it if you think it could help somebody. More than anything, remember to subscribe, because we're doing this because we believe together we can change the world. Doc out.